out and I'm feeling alright. In slow motion, baby, it's just you and I. Yet the burn makes you feel so alive. And we live in the moment till you know it tonight. We're here now, let's party together. Let's live life, tonight is forever. We're here now, let's party together. Let's live life, tonight is forever. Let the rhythm move us, yeah baby, take it too far. You're at the center of my attention, yeah you got me so lost. I love the way that you move and how the lights keep up the groove. Feel like in a movie, baby, but it's ending too soon. We're here now, let's party together. Let's live life, tonight is forever. We're here now, let's party together. Let's live life, tonight is forever.
What's holding you down? I ain't like others. Don't let them hold your ground. I am in the summer sky. I am hearing all the lies. Don't turn your back on me. I'm here for you. I'll light your fire as the cold goes through. You'll be my passenger and I'll break through. I'll break through. Venus. What's holding you down? I ain't like others. Don't let them hold your ground. I am in the summer sky. I am hearing all the lies.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the EON League playoffs. We are going to play the upper bracket finals today, and I'm going to be joined by Don Pingus once again. Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. What about you? It's been a couple of weeks since we last worked together, but here we are again.
Yeah, I've been to a major since then.
Ooh,
Exciting
how
times.
was how was the major? Was it nice?
Oh, it was great. The crowd is absolutely incredible. I mean, just, a UK crowd, the only thing that can beat that is maybe a Brazil crowd on a good day. That is the only exception. It was really loud. It was very exciting. Beast Coast had a hell of a run.
Yeah.
But since they're done now, we're straight back into EON League, and with this weekend, we got to wrap this one up as well. And the first match that we have on our hands is going to be N8M versus Soul's Heart. It is the upper bracket finals. Whoever wins this is going to go straight into grand finals. Loser gets another chance against Tani. So neither of them will be out today. This is there's still some padding in this, but of course you want the advantage of going into upper bracket finals. You want to go straight to finals. You don't want to have to bother playing another match tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that we have map bans as well to see. This is best of three for today, so we're gonna be starting in Oregon. Ooh, that's a nice change from the usual clubhouse. But of course, second map is gonna be clubhouse, and the decider will be bang. Pretty standard maps that I think we've seen all around.
Yeah, I mean, it is the three most basic maps that you could possibly expect out of this map, Vito, and I am very disappointed in both of these teams. I
Yeah.
thought that going from a BO1 system, into a BO3, you would maybe see a bit more map variety. You would be forced to play maps that are maybe outside of the defaults because in a BO1 system, you have to play a map you're comfortable on, and that's usually going to be the default ones. That is going to be the ones where you play very fundamental Siege. But in a BO3, having all of the fundamentals maps coming out is just it's a T4 classic. But we'll have to wait and see if maybe Soul's Heart and N8M can just squeeze a little bit of entertainment out of these maps, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, Cafe being banned so early, a little bit disappointing for me. And as I say that, we also have some of the predictions that the staff voted for this match, I believe, and the production side of things. And wow, it looks pretty one-sided from these picks.
Yeah, I went against the tide here, just because I want to root for the underdogs. I think that both teams here have an opportunity, but I definitely see a trend here. All right. So in a few minutes, we'll have the game starting up. Until then, I think anything that you want to touch on as we move into the lineup, Stone?
Uh, well, I don't really have much to say about these teams. They're very good teams. They're in the upper brackets. So the grand finals might be interesting. And as I say that, we're going to be seeing these players here. I'll be honest, I don't recognize many names from here. I recognize a couple from the previous matches that I've watched, but any names that you recognize that we might have to look out for?
Well, I mean, I absolutely recognize the N8M roster. It's why I decided to go with them as an underdog pick. I think certainly, Adapts is a name that you've seen around. I think especially with like Mr. Easter on like previous Sokodo iterations. Kevin's a name that's been around the Benelux region, I think, a lot. But N8M is a team that previously known as Blue Jays North Star. They're a Finnish team, and I've seen them around. I've seen how they can play, and Sampi especially is a player that, if they manage to enable him, he can really perform. The problem is that he's a player that hinges on some solo plays, and I'm looking forward to see how they integrate that because I've seen them be very hit or miss about it, which is certainly why Soul's Heart would be favored. But I don't want to count them out yet.
All right. We'll be looking out for them. Underdog story, always very fun. Always one of the favorite for esports, I'd say. They definitely have a lot of chances to recover from, to make it to the finals, best of three. A lot of things can happen. Lots of opportunities for comebacks and a lot of interesting plays. Although with the maps that they have chosen, I don't know if we're going to be seeing anything too crazy here. We might, but I don't know. Do you think we're going to be seeing any weird strats, anything crazy, or just going to be standard siege for all three maps?
Well, I'm certainly hoping for it, but just judging off of the map ends alone, this is a matchup that, I mean, in all respects, I did say that wanting to go into the finals directly, not having to play that other match tomorrow, sure. But at the same time, like, this is an opportunity. You can fall down to the lower bracket. This is where you can test your limits against an opponent that you may or may not see in the grand finals. This could be a rematch later down the line, 2 days from now. And these two teams, at least in the map bans already, are not looking to try anything. They're not trying to get out of their comfort zone to just experiment and test in a situation where they don't have much to lose. I don't feel like that bodes well for the grand finals, and I also feel like that doesn't really bode well for trying to go for extravagant plays and like more picks that are a bit more out there. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I certainly hope that we can see something special between the two teams coming out at the right time.
Yeah, and do you think that Tiny Esports has any chances of maybe winning against the loser of today? Tiny Esports as a roster for Siege, I have seen them once, and they were pretty decent, but they have already lost against N8M 7-2 in the previous upper bracket semifinals. I don't know. Do you think that Tiny Esports has any chances of maybe clutching it up and going to the grand finals, or will we be seeing a rematch for sure?
I mean, I think that will come down heavily to first of all who drops down because I definitely think if N8M can get an upset victory here, we're going to be seeing a rematch in the grand finals. I feel like Tani might not have the capability to beat Souls Hard, but if N8M get knocked down, which well most of the cast did predict that, I think that that could be a fair shot. I think N8M and Tani are fairly evenly matched. I would argue, and it would be a great Spanish versus Finnish derby. So whatever happens, I'm looking forward to the lower bracket final tomorrow. But I definitely think for Tani, it's up there depending on what opponent they get.
Yeah, I am kind of rooting for Tani. I'm a little bit biased because I am Spanish and it's a Spanish Oric Spanish team. A little bit biased, but definitely not one of the teams to look out for at the moment. I mean, yes and no at the same time. They're like you mentioned, they might have a fair chance against N8M, but Soul's Heart has just been this whole tournament just been absolutely going at it, dominating. And I'm hoping that we're going to be seeing more of a change in that today, and it's going to be more evenly matched, which it looks like it will. So that's something to look out for. Hopefully not too long. Hopefully it's not overtime all three maps. Otherwise, we're gonna be really tired, and everyone is gonna be as well. Especially with the maps that we've been going, I would
Oh yeah.
personally hate a lot of overtimes. Like clubhouse overtime again, I cannot do it. Um, I think it was yesterday, not yesterday, the day before. I was in a clubhouse. I was casting clubhouse, and I went into overtime, and it was god awful. I wanted to just finish already.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not what I'm hoping for. Just very quickly, are we? What's the status on the game? All right, we are still missing two players, so we'll get that sorted soon. In the meantime, I think in terms of what we can talk about, the map picks are so boring. I feel like there's not much to talk about. I'm very sorry. I'm glad that we're in a BO3 format. That's something that I will mention. In the lower bracket, we did see some BO1s coming out. So seeing in the upper bracket finals now a BO3, that's certainly going to give us a better shot at determining which team truly is the better one. And the grand finals, I think, ultimately will be the best tool of doing that in a BO5. But in a BO3, it forces you, like I said, theoretically into map picks that are a little more out there. Of course, with Club and Oregon being the first two. If we get a third, we might get to Bank, and even Bank is, I wouldn't say anything special. But at the same time, we can only wait and hope. Um, and I'm really looking forward to how N8M have evolved since the last time I've seen them play, because I think it's been like 2 months. They have been a team consistently, so they do have that advantage. I don't know how long Soulsheart have been together. I know that they've gone through different roster iterations a while ago, but uh, I'm I'm just curious to see how N8M perform. I kind of want to see them do well.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it as well. And like you mentioned, uh, the map picks, I think they're like the top three picks, map picks for this tournament so far. Clubhouse definitely. Then Chalet, I think, is above Bank, but Bank is still very standard in terms of what most team plays. And well, the good thing about it is grand finals not going to be the. At least we're going to have two more maps that are not usually played because it's going to be a best of five. And yeah, a lot of people. I remember some people were complaining about the BO1s, so it is nice to see the BO3s, and hopefully that gives people more content and be able to watch their teams that they like. Sorry, I don't know if you hear the motorcycle, but to watch the teams that they like more. That's always pretty good watching your team play that you like.
Yeah, I mean, certainly. The experience that comes into this matchup that you can gain from a BO3, there's potentially 3 maps to play. At the very least, there's going to be 2. So you have enough time to also adapt. That's very important for teams that also heavily, wage on the mental game, because if you lose 4 rounds in a BO1 format, the match might be over already, and there's no way for you to find your way back into it. But if it's a BO3, you can play without pressure when you're down a few rounds, and even if you lose the map, you just move on to the next one. If you can do that mental reset, you can move on to the next one. You can equalize the score. You can move to map 3. You can still have it be a close game. And there's a lot of experience to be gained, especially, I think, between the 2 teams. I think they're fairly evenly matched. I assume they've probably scrimmed each other at some point in the past. I feel like these are 2 teams of a skill level that would find each other on, on RCS. And as I say that, I think we should be getting into the map momentarily, as I believe everybody is in. And all right, we've got the map, or rather the operator bands coming in already. Oregon. What are we expecting, Don?
Pretty standard things. Dokebi, Jing, probably. We might be seeing a Monty ban. I've been seeing a lot of Monty bans recently. And then for defense, it's probably going to be a Solis. Solis pretty good in Oregon. And Kaid or Tubara, one of those two. Might not be as essential in Clubhouse in Oregon as other maps to stall for time, but can definitely very annoying operators. Other than that, Fenrir, Mira, Valk, the defense, there's like 6 operators that are always really strong. And it seems that, unfortunately, Soul Heart is gonna maybe DC, or not too sure what happened there.
Well, at the very least, if we do have a rehost coming in, I'm not sure what the status is on the teams. We did just see that Soulsheart was leaving the game, but we did see one ban coming in. N8M decided to take out the Habana. That's all we saw. I can only assume that that's what they actually wanted to go for. Usually, you want to stick out the bans properly, even if there is a rehost ongoing. Because, I mean, for the most part, I would expect that they would finish the ban phase before throwing back to us, so that we could at least have something to talk about. But no luck with that. Soulsheart out of the lobby. I'm not sure what's happening. I do know that there is some tech issues in Siege at the moment. I think this season has been plagued by people not being able to get into the game, people getting booted out of servers, people not being able to get into, like, just connect to the server in the first place, and just only being able to launch the game in offline mode. I've had that problem for a while now. I've been able to play recently, thankfully, to encounter cheaters and rank. That wasn't worth it, but it did get to play around to face it at least. But other than that, I mean, just some issues plaguing Siege. I think we just got to bear with.
I swear that happens every single season in Siege, where there's problems getting into the game every single time. And I believe there was a bug recently, or like an exploit, that the defenders could kick the attackers, something like that. I heard about that people were complaining about. Was that actually a real thing? Because I didn't play for that, but I heard that it was happening a lot recently.
Interesting. I haven't heard about that. What I did experience myself, and I did see it around everywhere. At the moment, I think there's a big issue of cheaters that can just plant anywhere. I did encounter that yesterday. They just planted in the spawn. There's not much you can do about that. I
I
think
remember that
it's
from like
yeah.
ages ago. That's been around for a while.
Used to be a bug way back when, and apparently they found a new way to do it once again. It just happens occasionally. I love legacy bugs coming back into Siege every now and then. I can't wait for the next, like, rotation hole bug where you can't make it through a rotate that you made. You just rubber band. I feel like that's just something that's going to keep happening. But yeah, planting and spawn, it's difficult to deal with. Let me tell you that much.
I can imagine. Oh, okay. So we got a little bit of news. I think we accidentally started with 2 players missing, which is why the other team decided to leave. Uh, it seems that they've been having a lot of issues with these 2 players, so I'm not entirely too sure what's going to be happening, if because obviously I don't know how much more we can delay this,
Yeah.
but we're gonna try and be sorting this kind of issues now, and I think we're gonna go into a little break to try and sort it out, because there's not much else that we can talk about. We're kind of running out of things. But yeah, anything else you want to say?
No, I think we'll just take a very quick breather. We'll take a break, and as soon as we have the lobby up and running, we'll go right back into it. and then we'll touch on map 1. Until then, just sit tight and see you soon. All right, welcome back, everyone. Very quick rehost. It was not a server issue, which is what I expected. It was just a bit of an issue on our server, starting a bit early, being too hot on the gun. Just jumping the gun a little bit, but we should be in the match now, right and proper. I think with everybody in, as opposed to last time. And now we will see a reban coming through. Soulsheart did leave before they were able to get their ban in, and there it is. That's what you were pointing out, Don. Adokabe. And I believe the second ban that should come in is the Hibana, and after that, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so I think they are being forced to ban that Hibana that I'm 100% sure they banned jokingly because they thought it was over. And
no, there's a Ying ban.
Never mind, Ying is going to be banned instead. I'm not too sure.
All right, well, that makes more sense. I feel like a Hibana ban on this map isn't as powerful as you would think it is. Just because there's enough ways to deal with it. It would force out something like a Kai ban, and there is the Kai ban to follow up with it as well, which is going to make the tuba weaker, which means that the hatches are basically guaranteed to be opened as long as the attackers find a foothold inside of the first floor. But for the most part, I feel like the Ying makes more sense to try and deny a very heavy execute. It denies just needing to rely on the Warden as much. And with the last ban coming in, the Azami getting taken out as well. A fairly popular ban. She can block off a lot of sightlines. She can completely remodel how you play the basement and how you play certain angles on the top floor. So makes sense to be taking her out. That does leave Solus on the board. That does leave Fenrir on the board. Both of which will be receiving a substantial nerf come the next season. But until then, they will be open to play. And we will see at the very least a Solus here for the starting top floor for Soulsheart.
What nerfs are they receiving? Do you know off the top of your head?
So Fenrir is losing one of his gadgets.
Okay.
The FNATs. I was thinking of the name. He only gets 2 codes, and they are no longer bulletproof. But the additional change that they made is when one of the activated ones gets destroyed, he gets the code back. That is a nice little change to not make it, to basically not nerf him too much. I feel like that is a fair balance.
10 seconds to insertion.
So basically, if you have to activate it, one of the activated ones gets shot, or maybe Twitch droned or something like that, or maybe killed by an Argus cam from Zero. You get that code back, and you can use it on one of the other 2 that are not activated. That's very nice.
Okay.
but it's much easier to deal with them. And the util spam is a big problem on the defensive end at the moment. And Solus is getting absolutely nerfed into the ground. We cannot use her gadget in prep phase anymore, only gets 10 instead of 20. She has to have full charge to be able to activate the gadget. There's a lot of nerfs by the way.
Yeah, very much needed. The defender meta right now is unbearable. It's almost impossible to win any rounds of attack, and this makes it a game of whoever has the best defense instead of we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a slow approach from N8M. Just gonna try and get these roamers and some vertical play as well. I'm still just gonna find this little Claymore. I might be thinking about doing a little run out. I don't know if these teams are very aggressive, but Oregon is a map that promotes a lot of aggressiveness and the potential for spawn peaks as well.
Yeah, right. In the meantime, Sampi, this is what I pointed out. He is a solo player. If he gets enabled by N8M, he can do a lot. And he's doing his classic right now. He usually picks a buck, and he goes into a place that his team does not go into. He just picks anywhere that isn't where his team is going, and that's good enough for him. That's the Sampi playstyle. It's the Sampi lurk. It has been coined that by 5 stars because we had to play against it a bunch in scrims, and we did observe it in a bunch of leagues when we were watching them on the side. It's just a classic. It's very recognizable. As the breach gets open, Pandora gets swung on the main breach. Adapts just aggressively goes into that, able to get the first pick dagger. But something like in the meantime catches Ilano off guard. We're back into a 4v4. As C4 comes out, Will is able to get one off screen as Adapts is able to connect that. Now we have man advantage for Soul's Heart, 4v2.
Zombie still playing in his little position. You know that there's a player holding him here. He's gonna try and get a little too low, but it's gonna work. Engagement gonna come out. Bullet's gonna fly, but it's not going to be enough to find a head. He's gonna back up a little bit. These two players from N8M, not much that they can do. Phyllis can take some damage from below. 45 seconds on the clock. They have to kind of make a move. Two of them. It's going to be really difficult to come back from this, especially with the gun advantage and only util that is still in use for Soul Heart. They still have that C4, they have the down cams, lots of things.
Loads of things to deal with. He was able to find one, but he gets traded back immediately. Now it's only down to Sampi. He gets taken down as well. Kevin takes him down, and Soul's Heart getting their first defensive round, and we're off to a good start for the defense. But on Oregon, maybe nothing special.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, I expect like a 4-2 at best from, not just because N8M is bad or anything, but just Oregon defender-sided map, and the meta right now being so defender-sided, I think Oregon's one of those maps that makes it really difficult to win on attack unless you gonna do something crazy, win a lot of gunfight, which against teams that are kind of equal, and like in this case, doesn't usually benefit anyone that much. And we're going to be seeing a little Ashe. N8M might be thinking about going a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive, especially with that Lion Ashe combo, which I haven't seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean, Lion Ashe, that reminds me of Year 3.
Yeah.
Goodness, what a time Year 3 was.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be swapped out.
You know, a lot of people, I think, if you remember, Don, initially, if you were around at that time, when they started releasing only one operator instead of two, after, I think, Ace and Melusia, a lot of people were complaining that there wouldn't be enough content in the game. But at the same time, I was thinking about some of the balancing states that these operators were in back when they were released, you know, in batches of 2, because Lion was completely broken, overpowered. Ella, for the longest time, was way too strong, together with Legion being released in the same season. And then we had, like, the Ying Glass meta, which was brought about with, like, too many operators and too many changes to gadgets happening at the same time. I think only adding one does allow for a bit better spacing, and it allows for better forethought for the devs to try and figure out what they want to do. With their operators, to also quality test it to make sure that they, you know, don't accidentally add something that completely breaks the game like Lion did.
Siege balancing, one of their best strongs for Ubisoft. But you know, that's what we have the player base for, and we have the seasons to go through, and then we change them after 2 seasons.
Gillis, if he shoots right now, he has no idea, but on the other side of that barricade is Sampi, just sitting holding a vert angle. He finds the right timing here. He might be able to get a left wall bang. And he goes for it. Sampi gets injured. Gillis, beautiful shot. Able to get Sampi, but I think he might be Yeah, he might get he's gonna get recovered. Kato trying to push himself in down below. Trying to take a fight onto the player that's inside of Kitchen. Kevin getting taken down. Now, Jackal low HP getting challenged by Pillars still. He's getting droned out. He will have to pull himself back. Smart choice here, trying to pull back down backstairs, and there is a reinforcement there in play for him to safely push himself back. You could see Sampi was trying to get an angle there. That reinforcement was blocking him from getting access to backstairs from up above, so he has to drop himself down into meeting. We'll get control of that now, and that does mean that he most likely will be able to deal with the hatches now, as Sampi does have the can openers. There is Pandora on the Hibana as well, just in case if needed. So, starting with this, I think Pandora getting into position, probably going to start opening up over onto that Shaiko E-box wall. Try and flush out that player. So most likely, we are looking at a backstairs execute. Unless N8M see an opportunity and decide to rotate, I think that is what we're going with. As there should be some blue pressure coming out in a moment. See a player rotating over there momentarily. 45, they gotta pick up the pace here if they want to get an execute going, as smokes are already coming out to deny E-box.
But there's still 2 more canisters left. Unfortunately, no C4s, but not a lot of time to execute. Execute might be having to come out soon. They're N8M, thinking about dropping this hatch. Trying to see if they can find some cake. They're already with 1 man up, but time is not on their side. Flashes come out, no, they don't know what Warden is out. No one's there to prevent that. Pilis going to find Pandora's head. Dula going to melee Pilis as he drops. Samp's going to find the land. I'm getting a 2v4. Souls hard. 13 seconds, 12 seconds. N8M, they have the player advantage, but not enough time. As the fuser's gonna go down. Double kill for Snappy. Oh, that's gonna go to the final one. J7S as well. 1v2. The fuser's going down. It's all down to this smoke. Snappy very low HP. He has to be able to find a little shot. And a nice kill on BML.
Protect the diffuser.
Williams trying to go for that swing. There's a player rotating over to E-box. Be careful about that. Pulls out the shotgun. Tries to find that player inside of elbow. Won't have any luck as he tries to vault through at the wrong time. He's still trying to chase after this Ash, but no fight being given to him. Sampi is very low HP, so BML, he has to keep himself alive to make sure that he doesn't leave his teammate in a 1v1. The timer is ticking lower and lower. He only has 2 seconds left to get on that defuse. Jens is going to start running out of time. He's able to get one. He doesn't get the second. And even if he did, he wouldn't have had enough time. So very good time play here for N8M. BML just playing ring around the Rosie. And that's a very good attacking round for N8M to square us up 1-1.
Yeah, very good around, making it a little bit even 1v1. You always want to trade those rounds when you're starting on attack, trying to win as much as you can. Not the most comfortable win for them for that round. They were really low on time, managed to get the fuser down. Winning those gun duels was very essential. If they would have missed any shots or been outgunned, that round would have on their way. Props to them for getting it. And Soul's Hard gonna try basement defense once again, and it looks like we're gonna be changing it up a little bit, but overall the same idea for this defense.
Alright, once again we're back to this trend that some of these teams in EON, I've observed this quite a few times now. They seem to like going back to the same site and trying basically the same thing again. I don't know if that's the best idea depending on the team that you're going against, because a good team is going to read into that, completely adapt what they're doing, read into what you did last time, learn from their mistakes, and absolutely crush you. You need to adapt what you're doing. If you're doing the same thing over and over, people are going to start reading into it, they're going to hard counter you. And there's not much that you can do about that, because at that point you're just losing strategically. It doesn't matter how good your gunplay is, these guys are going to take fights where you're looking the wrong way, and you're not going to win those fights. In most cases, at the very least, I would hope so. As I say that, I think N8M going for a very similar approach as well. I think the crucial thing here is if Soulshard go for a very similar approach, then N8M, they can do the same thing as last time too, because, I mean, hey, it did work. But you gotta be faster, because you know what they're doing, you know what they're up to. You shouldn't be playing guesswork here on top floor. You should know that everything's clear, and you should immediately try and push onto backstairs and try to get this players back. As a lot of vert play is being done here from second floor onto first. And N8M just, once again, wasting a lot of time trying to take control over on kitchen side. As well as holding some of these flanks up the staircases. That is really good because they do manage to keep control of it. However, it is costing them a lot of time.
Yeah, trying to take this much control might not be the most efficient way, especially when Soul's Heart is playing the exact same way. So if we're going to come out, but not going to connect, unfortunately. Hill is going to be playing a little bit of a different position this time around, though. Might be able to find someone that's not paying attention, but he's going to get thrown out now.
Oh, he's stuck. Well, I mean, he's stuck here now. He just has to try and stick this position. He can still waste a bit of time, but N8M have to clear him out effectively here. If he's allowed to get a pick, or maybe even get away if Kevin can help him, that would be a crucial play inside of the round as Billis tries to pull back. He almost gets away with it, but he does get cut down, and Kevin, he isn't able to help his teammate, and he isn't able to get himself out either. Instead, Soul's Heart, they lose 2 players right off of that. N8M now with a 2-man advantage. Yes, Yola is down low in HP, but 50 seconds left. You can drone, you can figure out the bomb site, you can figure out what you want to do, and you should be able to convert this round.
With those 2 players down, definitely they know that there's no one roaming anymore and that they're all going to be on site. All they have to do now, get ready to execute and just go in.
Milano has a bulletproof camera in pocket.
Well, he might be waiting for the post plan, you know?
Yeah, he's waiting for an opportunity to use it. I sense it.
Still going to come out from backstairs. They know that these players have to execute. Now, Blood Delano not going to be able to do anything. It's going to go down to Katu, but Adapt going to be able to trade him almost immediately. Oh, but unlucky. Pandora is going to find J7. The diffuser going down. It's all down to Adapt. 1v4, and he's not going to be able to manage to clutch it up. Sampi find that kill. N8M taking the 2nd round of attack. Looking very good. Taking the lead already on attack. Impressive.
Wonder if that bulletproof in the puck could have made a difference for the side of Soul's Heart. They'd used it somewhere on backstairs maybe to help the roamer, but instead they get cut down to size. 2 players caught on a very shallow roam. Pillis, he was droned out. He was dead to rights. He was caught in a corner. He almost manages to get away. It was a nice attempt from him, but N8M not allowing him to get away. And then Kevin off of that, just completely overstaying his welcome, getting cut down to size as well. And that is a blunder from Soul's Heart that is going to cost them dearly, because now they are trailing on the defense. And that is not a place you want to be in Oregon.
Definitely a little bit of a misplay. A little bit of a bait for for Kevin there on his teammate, and not being too confident in swinging to trade it or making a decision. That slight hesitation on the decision making of whether to swing it or fall back cost them that round. Soul's Heart is going to try a side that they did win earlier. It wasn't the prettiest win, but the only defense that they've won so far. And these teams are going to be kind of doing the exact same thing. Going to go with the Nomad again with the Ash buckling from below. We're, however, going to be seeing a Blitz play. Ooh, man, that could be a little bit fun. Might be seeing some Blitz trolling or maybe some Blitz amazing plays. It's always... It's never a 50-50. It's always either completely trolling or it's the best play you've ever seen in your entire career for a Blitz player.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I am curious how they want to use this Blitz, if this is going to be just a relatively quick rush, or if they're going to maybe save him, because I've seen, especially in T1, I think a strategy that's been utilized by a lot of the pro teams is to bring a Blitz, or maybe even a Monty, and to not use him, and not give him away, just not even show that you have a shield operator until like the last minute or so, when you're pushing onto the site. Because if you can get a man advantage going, then push yourself into the site, you can get... Oh, there's a plant coming down, never mind, I have to grow up myself as Pandora is going for a plant, but he does get cut down. Jens is able to get one, Kevin, another, Pillis a third. Pillis able to at least trade one back on Jens, but with only 1 minute off the clock, we've lost half the server. It is a 2v4 for the side of N8M. Yes, VML is inside of the side, but the Vulcan comes through from Yola, and he gets cut down as well. So it's only down to VML. He does have some bees to work with. That does give him some info onto one player. He is able to connect that. Pillis does die here, and a beautiful shot from VML as he gets himself a double kill onto Kevin. Barely taking any damage. He might be able to convert this round still. There is a BP. There's a player on white, and there's the crossfire. Adapts beautifully playing around his teammate on white and able to close it out.
Yeah. I have to say, VML almost kind of clutched that up, surprisingly enough. Unfortunately, going to put himself in a position where he's going to easily get swung from both sides and not going to be able to do much. The plan there for the attack was a little bit confusing. They just sent in that blitz, into the site. Booty butt naked, no help whatsoever. He went for the plant. They shot him down. And nothing that he had no assistance whatsoever. So I'm not too sure
Attackers need to
what the
locate
thought
and
process
defuse
for that
bombs.
was, but it was definitely entertaining to watch.
I mean, the thing is, there was no direct denial. Jens just droned and shot the feet through a little angle.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Which is, like, unfortunate, but maybe if you have some cover, you could have planted in a different spot. You could have planted, like, right next to the window, or maybe, you know, run in deep and plant in that corner next to the softball that leads to kids. But instead, just choosing to go for that default plant spot behind, you know, in that hobo area. I don't know. I really, I mean, I have to agree with you there, Don. I don't know what the plan was.
Would have been better, like you said, to plant near a window where you can't really get swung from games or anything, and the only real threat would be from kids. But I think there was someone that was potentially window as well, so they could have definitely protected them against that push. And for the plan that they wanted to do, maybe Monty might have been a little bit better than Blitz. Blitz didn't get much use. His flash wasn't used whatsoever. No one was in range for it anyway. Maybe that plan might have worked a little bit better with better coordination and potentially Monty. But Soul's Heart kind of decided to go for a very aggressive playstyle instead. Killer's gonna take some damage as
Did that fuse cluster go through the wall and hit him on the left side? That is a
think it might
beautiful
have.
cluster charge in that case. Kato just getting really good value out of those clusters.
yeah, that was a weird cluster. I think it got him to like a different. Whoa, Sampy gonna be able to open this breach. Earlier, we saw that breach didn't work in their favor. Someone was holding it, but not gonna happen this time. Delano gonna see if he can find a pick on this window or on the breach. Engagement gonna come out shooting, but not gonna be able to find anything. He's gonna get droned out. 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. Lots of time, and they're being forced to fall back now, so time wasting, not gonna work. But Pillis, despite being low HP, is gonna find Sampy. That is their bug player gone. Vertical play is gonna be more and more difficult.
Oh, if that might not be an overextension. Pillar's trying to retake on top floor, and there we go. He gets cut down. I was about to comment on Soul's Heart playing really well around time and just deciding to fall back there. You could see that Delano got droned. He decided to drop back to side immediately. He didn't want to contest anything at all because Soul's Heart doesn't need to. They can play the clock. And then immediately, as I formed that thought in my head, I cannot even cast a curse out loud. I'm just thinking. Before I could speak that out loud, two of the Soul's Heart players suddenly tried to retake top floor and die. And so we're straight back into a 3v3 as Kato takes a lot of damage, almost gets cut down. He takes even more. Kato now down to almost 1 HP. As VML has taken a bit of damage, I think everybody else on Soul's Heart still healthy. So some cluster charges coming out on Kitchen now. That is going to deny the playability of that part of the site. Might be able to go for a hatch drop there. Question is, how's the denial like for Soul's Heart? I didn't see anything in the pockets that they could really work with. So they will have to try and deny using their guns. And I mean, Delano is in a good position to try and retake. The problem is that he's now going to get pressured from behind as N8M have rotated over to small tower. Oh, but do they know? Do they know? They have no idea. Delano! He's playing the trigger here. And he waits for the perfect opportunity to cut them both down. What a beautiful play from Delano. He's able to get all three. As the fuse is able to drop it aside, get one. But that play from Delano, just hiding in that corner, lets the first person just walk right on by. That Grim had absolutely no idea. Really well played by Delano. Beautiful trigger discipline. Amazing.
And I'm gonna get a little bit too overconfident that they know where these players are, but unfortunately not gonna get the read right. And Delano just not getting droned out there, getting no info whatsoever. And he had that patience, he had that he had that angle, and he managed to get the three of them. I was a little bit scared, however, I'm not gonna lie, that Ash might have gotten him because VML, we've been seeing him hit some really, really nice shots. And for a second there, I thought that he might not be able to get the two-piece, but he managed to get it and close it out with a third one. Soul's Heart going to go into basement again, but the scoreline being 3-2 is putting N8M right now in a very good position despite that last round.
Well, yeah, I mean, N8M looking for this 3-3 half, that would certainly be comfortable for them. I think that's what they're looking for, an attack couldn't really wish for much more. I think they've put up some decent rounds so far, but I mean, you know, you were right being worried after the gunfight was taken for Delano, but I was worried for him earlier as well because N8M went for that rotation. I thought they isolated their win condition because I saw that Delano was the one who could deny the plant, and I saw that 2 players of N8M rotated over to take control of kitchen. They did isolate properly what they need control of to try and go for this plant, which is, you know, kitchen dining. But they didn't think to consider that there may or may not be a player proning on the right side, and that cost them dearly. So really well played by Delano once again. And so we are now man advantage for the side of N8M as they try to strike back to once again go back to equalizing the score.
N8M gonna take a very early engagement. It's gonna put them in a really good position. Having the Warden out of play, you can make a lot of use of your util now. All of these flashes.
There's 4 smokes in play, keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at that. They have 4 smokes in play, 3 flashes. With this Warden there, that would have been rendered useless, but now they have the chance to make a lot of useful plays into executing.
Oh!
And Jula gonna find a nice double kill against J7. Gonna get gunned down by Adabs, however, but he's managed to find 2 essential kills that puts his team in a really, really good position.
I mean, Yula just finding that first pick and finding so much confidence in himself that he just decides to push a player behind a shield inside of elbow. Bit ill-advised, does get, you know, tuned down a bit. You know, Adapt saying, alright, calm down, you're not that good. You are good, that was a beautiful shot, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but you're not that good. And so Adapts is able to get that trade back. There's a bit of damage done to Adapts as well in the process. So N8M still really good advantage thanks to Yula with that double kill early on in the round. I think the Brava not being able to hack too many of the Maestro gadgets, I think that was the main thing that they wanted to try and do with this Brava. But regardless of that, I think if they have enough time, they might be able to deal with these Maestro cams. And at the same time, they still have a man advantage. If they can find one pick, they can just start playing the trade game and absolutely overpower the site. And I think they have a rough idea on this player, as I believe they're trying to flush Pillis out of this corner inside of blue. And there is a flashbang that's about to come in. Pandora has to be careful. He has a flashbang here out in the open. As, oh no, Pillis, there we go, he gets flashed. Has to pull back momentarily, immediately goes back into position though. And so nothing coming off that flashbang. These flashes essentially wasted. As another one comes through, Pandora once again flashing Pillis. But where's the drop? There is no drop. There's nothing happening off of this utility. They're just wasting it. Now with 20 seconds left, there's a dry drop coming in, and Pillis cuts down one player. Adapt's able to get another. Pillis with a double. You flashed him twice. You didn't drop the hatch. And now, while he's not flashed, you decide to just dry push.
5 seconds left.
What was that play? Soul's Heart. Beautiful pick from Adapts here to close it out. A 4-2 half. About what you would expect for defense, but what a way to convert it off of just a kind of a blunder.
Yeah, N8M had a really good chance of winning that attack. This Maestro was being pushed back by 2 players. They were isolating him. They could have found the kill if they would have just played it a little bit better. They did hear the C4 being prepped, but it's not much to worry about. If you just push the guy, he's not going to have enough time to press the button. And then we had the Lesion in Freezer. He was also being pushed by the last 2 players. And just isolating these 2 players with nothing to defend themselves. Keep in mind, no Jaeger, no Wamai. Would have been really easy to flush them out and try and get those kills, but unfortunately, gonna be a little bit of a misplay or maybe not lack of information. N8M information so far has not been the best.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, like I feel like all the puzzle pieces are there. They just didn't arrange them in the right order this time around. It does make me hopeful for them being able to put something together on defense. It is a bit better to coordinate on defense. It makes it a slight bit easier because you're the one that starts with all the map control. You're not the one that has to first take it and then hold it. You just get it all for free at the start, and then the attackers try to start, you know, pinching some pieces away of it as best as they can. So still hoping for that, but a little disappointed to see N8M not being able to convert, you know, some of the plays that they're making. I feel like those flashbangs were good.
Yeah. 4-2, however, just as we predicted it, so nothing too out of the ordinary. But it would have been really nice for N8M to be able to manage to get that 3-3, and it would have been a beautiful position for this first defense. And we're going to see how it's going to play out, actually. It might be that N8M has very good defense, and they're going to be able to manage to maybe win this one with a 7-4 if we're lucky. Although that's not usually what happens. And Oryx gonna come into play. I have not seen an Oryx in a really, really long time. I know it is Oregon, but it's still interesting to see, I have to say.
It does potentially allow for some hatch rotations, although that is rather rare to see, you know, even with Oryx's ability to do it. But, I mean, the main thing that he's good for is he can rotate around the map very, very quickly, and you have a decent gun. And, you know, Oryx can make rotations, potentially, and I think, you know, when you stack him up against Legion, Legion is not an operator that you want to lose early, so putting an Oryx out on a roam instead might be, you know, the better choice. So I understand why he's picked, but I'm wondering how much value N8M are going to be able to get out of it, as Soul's Heart at the moment is just going for a bit of a map clear, just taking it slow, trying to get control of Kitchen. They know that the player is around dining. There's a yellow ping on him. Adapts might be able to go for that swing. See, he tries to connect onto the punch holes. Player gets droned out. He falls back. Good drone work, but not being able to cut off Eula here is going to cost Soul's Heart even more time, as he actually commits to it.
Yeah, these players with this roam not being found, not taken out, gonna put a lot of stress into this time management.
Oh,
And
Sappy's
Soul's Heart
still on
is
top
gonna
of
have to decide. Yeah, Soul's Heart is gonna have to make a choice of whether push aggressively or just go into side. They can't afford to waste much more time here. Time is ticking down, and like you mentioned, Sampy still being in this top floor, they can pincer into them and try and find a couple of kills. They're gonna see a backstair attack, as we've been seeing happen a lot of these basement attacks. But lots of players still in playing positions to kind of stop them from doing that. Something gonna be able to find this little rotation is gonna go into side. They know that Soul's Heart has to commit to side now, but no smoke canisters left.
Oh,
And as
boy.
I say that, J7 gonna get into aggressive. I'm gonna have to find Pandora. Delano gonna be able to find Kevin making a 5v3. Soul's Heart, they're in a bad spot, but suddenly they found themselves some nice kills. Sampy gonna be able to find Killis, but he's gonna get down to Adapt. That is a double kill for him. 4v2. Kevin gonna find BML, and that is
boy.
it for Soul's Heart. Is gonna take that round in a devastating round of 10 seconds. That all happened in 10 seconds.
My goodness, that was essentially 2.5 minutes of Soul's Heart going for a very slow roam clear and allowing N8M to just continue moving around them, just dancing around the drones constantly. And N8M were given so much map control. And then Soul's Heart decide to go for a rotation and decide, you know what, guys, we can rotate. If we see that side is weak, there's at least 2 players. I think there was 3 offside, actually. I think Legion was also top freezer. He was pretty far off. So there was, if there was a Legion, I don't know which operator it was. There was 3 players at the very least offside. There was a smoke basically holding elbow and all of sight. And another player holding laundry, so they did read it properly to go there. But then they took so much time that most of the N8M players were able to get back to site. But N8M, in the process of falling back to site, didn't establish who's holding what angles, and they just allow Jens to just walk in elbow. You have enough players back on site. Everybody's rotated back. Why is the player with the shotgun not ready in that position already? Why does he get caught out by an IQ? So Soul's Heart, I like what they were going for. Initially, they tried to roam clear, and since they didn't find a pick and saw that, you know, N8M was doubling down on it, they had the proper read. They were like, okay, guys, let's rotate, let's hit the site. They did take too long on that. I feel like if they would have gone faster, it would have been a really convincing round, because they would have been in the site and locked the remaining roamers out. Could have gone for a plant and converted the round off of playing objective. But even with as little time as there was left, N8M just messed up the angles that they needed to hold there. They didn't get back in time. They didn't set up properly on site in time in terms of who's holding what. And so it still plays out in the favor of Soul's Heart as they go up 5-2. They're 2 rounds away from already closing out the first map.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it was a little bit unfortunate. They were on the roam. Could have played their angles a little bit better instead of just falling into side all from the same place and letting them attack like that. And not much that you can do with that little misplay when you have no time to realize that you've made a mistake and fix it. And N8M, they've decided to go for a slower approach, more into side, as we're going to be seeing a Goyo canister shields come out. We have placed them in freezer, although I don't think Soul's Heart is that much of a freezer team. From what I have seen, they kind of just they go for the weak spots, but most of the time that will be backstairs for most teams, unfortunately. Bit of a slower round this time around. Just like earlier, we might be seeing a little bit of time difference and just dropping into site. N8M already going to use one of their smoke canisters, which is a little bit interesting as there's no attackers nowhere near site. So I'm not too sure what the plan was there, but C4 going to be in play. Might be able to find someone. Oryx, top floor. He's not being cleared out just yet. He can make a play and waste a lot of time potentially if he plays it well. N8M puts himself in a position to waste a lot of time. Unfortunately, Soul's Heart seems to find that weakness and take advantage of it, and N8M can't respond quickly enough.
Once again, at the moment, N8M is weak on site. If Soul's Heart read this opportunity, they might be able to just push themselves in. If they can clear out the player on, I think, just long here, they should be able to just get complete side control. But as I say that, once again, N8M is going for that rotation back. They pull their players back down Freezer, and they are holding angles. The question is, are they holding all the proper ones? Is everything covered? Because you have everyone on side. There's no excuse to not have any angles held. You're in a 5v5. You should be able to cut down the approach of Soul's Heart as Evan's able to get the opening pick once again, but there we go, he gets traded as the player that was thrown there in the corner. Sampi gets caught out. Phyllis, Delano gets once again Soul's Heart. The guns are hot, they're able to win their gunfights. They just waste 2.5 minutes going for a weak roam clear, and then they just go for gunfights on site, as now it's down to VML. He doesn't know where the plant is coming down. He's able to get the planter. There's 2 seconds left. VML able to win the round for his team. Out of the jaws of defeat, he snatches victory as Soul's Heart's match point is denied. The roam clear lasting so long, and Soul's Heart once again just deciding to TDM on site with 30 seconds left. And this time it comes back to haunt them as N8M is able to play the clock. They're able to play the objective, and that's exactly what I was missing from Soul's Heart these past 2 rounds, and this time it did bite them.
That it did. N8M did not make the same mistake, almost kind of. Soulless, surprisingly enough, went prone in the exact same position that she did last round, that she died from immediately, and once again died immediately again, which was a little bit unfortunate to watch, I have to say. I noticed that and I felt bad for the player. Yeah, just going into the same position twice and immediately getting gunned down. Soul's Heart, very hot with their guns. Most of their gunfights, unfortunately, time wasn't there. If they would have had more time in that to execute, they most definitely would have won that round. But N8M managed to take down the clock a little bit. VML found that person defusing, like you mentioned, and just barely managed to win that round. I don't know how comfortable I feel with that win there, and if N8M is going to be able to win the rounds that they need. Soul's Heart, 1 round off, and then they're on to match point, and N8M is going to have to fight against that. Ideally, they'd win all of these next rounds and avoid Soul's Heart into going to the 6th, into their 6th point, but I don't know. Soul's Heart already knows that they're on the top floor. They're not even going to try and go for vertical play here. They're just going to go a little bit deeper, going to clear bedroom, and the Cadu going to take some damage from that Ash charge, I believe.
Yeah, that shield cleared very early, the Magna not coming out in time to try and deny. I don't think there was anything thrown to try and burn, so just nothing to protect the shield. Immediately gets cleared, even though there's a mice in it. Interesting choice of operators to bring it. You're gonna allocate your utility like that, but I'm assuming there's utility elsewhere that needs protecting, as Jens is able to get the first pick, and Sampi is very close to a bunch of different... Oh, he's next to a bunch of different Maverick holes. He's able to connect onto one player. The problem is there's an angle from a second, as Jens is trying to connect onto this. He was able to find one. Is he able to find the second? If he can, he should be able to recover his teammate as well. That will leave Soul's Heart in a 5v3, and now the nade comes out, and that kills his teammate! No, Jens! He doesn't get it through the hole. Instead, it falls down in between the reinforcement and the soft wall, and he kills Kevin with it. VML is on the flank as well. Jens under a lot of pressure as Pandora is able to find one, immediately traded back by Adapts. But these players on the side of Soul's Heart are so low. Finally, they're able to clear out that frost inside of Attic, and that leaves man advantage for Soul's Heart. The problem is the damage might be done. There is no rotation on Attic. They cannot rotate through this. So Jens will have to go around and find another place to go. As BML, he is caught out on that flank. Phyllis does take him down, so we're down to the 3v1. Only down to Eula. But Eula, even with the low amount of damage that the MPX puts out, he should be able to one-shot Pillis and even the ace just from body shots alone.
So they C4 going to connect, making it a 2v1. Diffuser going down. This player is in white stairs. He might get swung. He's playing a little bit safely. He wants to try and find someone out of positions. A player from Soul's Heart being a little bit too aggressive. Unfortunately, they're not going to give that to him. He's going to try and push a little bit, see if he can find anyone playing in an angle. And Adapts is going to be able to find them. Soul's Heart going to take that round, and that is putting them into match point.
What a mess of a round as we get to see the replays once again. Beautiful pick by Sumpy, trying to, play around those Maverick holes as Jens will be able to finish the job for him. Very unfortunate nade not being able to throw that all the way through. Clearly not happy with that, but Soul's Heart, regardless of that, even with a few hiccups here and there, still able to put themselves onto match point somewhat comfortably. They now have 3 opportunities to try and close this out. Yes, they are on the attack on Oregon, but that shouldn't deter them. I think we've seen some really good plays from them. They definitely have the mechanical capabilities, as they've been able to just straight up outduel N8M after 2.5 minutes of somewhat meaningless roam clearing. So Soul's Heart just need to find 1 or 2 opportunities, need to get themselves in there, and the moment they dogpile onto a man advantage, they should be able to close out around here. And so N8M, they're now with their backs against the wall. Of course, this is map 1 and a BO3, keep that in mind. So the next map that we are definitely moving on to, regardless of the score result here, is Clubhouse. And depending on how Clubhouse goes, we might even see Bank. But at the very least, it's not over here, even if N8M drop this, which of course they're not intending to. But if they want to not drop this map, they have to go perfect from here on out. They cannot afford to lose anymore.
I like how we could also witness that J7 was processing what just happened. You just see him after team killing, after missing the nade, he just kind of stares blankly without moving, a little bit in shock of what just happened.
He didn't expect it, neither did I. I thought that nade might have gone through, but he threw it at an awkward angle, and I think that ended up getting Kevin killed. Poor guy.
Frost played that beautifully though around the Maverick holes. It was a very scary play, and he managed to do it, but it was still a very, very risky play. High risk, high reward, however. And like you mentioned, this is a BO3, so no matter what, we're going to go into the next map. But it also depends on N8M's mental game. Losing this, sometimes a team might think we lost 7-3. Next map might not be that good. It's not that much of an even scoreline if they lose now. Although from what I'm seeing, N8M and Soul's Heart probably have really good mentals, and they can definitely reset this. Again, kind of a slow attack, clearing a lot, taking your sweet time to clear all of these angles, all of these roams. Soul's Heart doesn't want to commit the mistake that N8M did earlier with their Lesion that managed to get a double kill. They really don't want that to happen to them.
All right,
and
Kevin,
it's been working.
Yeah, just at the moment, Kevin, very careful. VML on the other side of that engagement, more drones coming out. Question is, are you going to be able to convert anything off of that? Soul's Heart, they're once again going for a fairly slow roam clears. They now push themselves in, but it's just a beautiful crossfire inside of Pit and Addict, able to get one. VML able to get one to Kevin as well. We have some trades coming back and forth, and it looks like N8M are the ones that are coming out on top here, as Billis actually has to drop the hatch and go into basement. They briefly had security control, but he has to get right back out. Adapts, he's inside of dining, the wall is breached, but they don't really have top floor control. And so they need to try and get this done with only these 2 players alive. Another Fenrir gadget that's going to give away the position of Pillars. And as the time takes lower, N8M, they can just play the clock here. Still 1 smoke canister in pocket, and they should have enough utility around. As VML, he did put his bulletproof cam somewhere, so that's improvement.
This time he's not holding in his pocket, as Jahula gonna be able to find an apps, and VML gonna close it off against Pillis. N8M gonna take that round. We are going to see a pause, however, due to a game crashing.
All right, well, you get to see our beautiful places for a little bit. We're just missing 1 player, just a very quick crash coming in. All right. In the meantime, I mean, at least at the very least, this time we have a bit more to talk about, as there's a whole game
Yeah.
happening in between the pause. So 6-4 now. A bit of a fight back coming through from N8M. I think this was a very solid round from them. They're starting to capitalize off of the mistakes that Soulsheart are making on the roam clear, because Soulsheart is very slow on their roam clears, and they're trying to be too careful until they can't be anymore, because either they run out of time or they run out of space, or N8M starts challenging them. And N8M this time around, I think, played it a lot better. They held their positions. Instead of falling back, they doubled down on positions that were needed to take. Instead of falling back, giving all the space over to Soulsheart and rotating back to side elsewhere, they just stick their positions, they take the fights where they need to, and they're able to win them out. And so N8M currently still trailing, but on the fight back in. And we should be able to move back in soon. As any thoughts you have, Don?
All right, and we're gonna be going back into the game. And yeah, N8M, they won that round pretty comfortably, I have to say. So there is a good chance that they might be able to go in a little
Attackers
snowball
need to
and
locate
win
and
this next
defuse
one.
as many bombs as they can.
They're definitely finding out Soulsheart's weakness, and it's just that they're too slow. But at the same time, if Soulheart realizes this, it's a very easy fix. Just go faster, you know? Just gotta go faster.
Go fast. Well, I would say going recklessly fast is usually not a good idea, but if you have the gun capabilities of Soulsheart, maybe you should try it at least once. You have a few buffer rounds to still try and convert anything, and Basement has gone the way of Soulsheart once, and the other round was also extremely close, which came down to a clutch from VML, which is only just keeping N8M in this competition so far. So at the moment, I think Soulsheart, you know, if there's any round to take, it should be this one.
Attackers are moving.
Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself, and we're gonna be seeing kind of the same defense this time around. Jay are gonna come out on Wamai as well. Maybe this time they will put down their gadgets and they won't be able to, you know, unlike earlier where they got that shield almost immediately. I don't think this time they're gonna be able to get a lot of util for free. That being said, however, we are seeing Blitz again. This might be either a really good play or a really bad play. Earlier, it was a really bad play.
And once again, I'm a little confused. Like, this is a Soulsheart classic. There is nobody of N8M roaming up here. Soulsheart is doing a complete top floor clear. They have put the Blitz onto just trophy, and they are currently full droning and clearing out top floor. To gain what exactly? You've wasted a minute. There's nobody up there. There's a slight little roam from VML who's trying to stick himself around, you know, the meeting area. You might be able to box him in if you go fast enough, but he can still drop that hatch. The hatch is open, so he has plenty of places to go. He just has to be careful he doesn't get caught out from split. And he does have backup from Yula, who's playing on backstairs. So I'm not sure what Soulsheart is doing, and at the moment, just going really slow. Kevin now at least inside of kitchen, but still very slow to take all of that space. Come on, move up. You need to be finding these picks. You need to get that control on Yula. Box him in. Allow him to get away from VML and then isolate that fight on VML. There we go. Adapts a very long angle onto Yula, able to find him. That Blitz just about baiting him out, and Jens also onto VML. That is the isolation that we needed. I said Soulsheart are very slow on this roam clear, but this time around they don't let the players get away, and that is the crucial difference to the previous two rounds that they were on basement here. Now they have a 5v3, and they can try to push the site with a minute left. Smoke starting to come out to try and deny the space over on Laundry. Another smoke coming out to try and deny Kevin over here on Pillar, but there's already Pillar and try to control game. This, alright, the Blitz is just moving with his legs completely exposed. The Stumpy cuts him down, and so man advantage just somewhat ameliorated by the side of N8M, still disadvantaged. As Stumpy now trying to take a fight with Delano. Delano trying to go for some flashes, peeking over, allows Stumpy to cross, flashes himself. And if there's a reinforcement now coming in, no, the entire wall is soft as Pandora is able to find Delano as well. This might still be around for N8M. They're not out of this yet. They're fighting straight back into it.
Illis is going to take some damage. Pandora holding close with the shotgun. Red Ping is going to come out. Shots are going to come out, and he's going to be able to find Pillis. N8M, they're definitely still in this time. Not taking down. Pandora going to find a dabs at the throne. J7 is going to find it. But N8M going to be able to take that round. again, Soul's Heart didn't have enough time. Their time management needs to be a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. I was a little bit scared there. N8M, they had a man down, but they were playing unfavorable gunfights. They were all trying to take 1v1s, and that 50-50 when you're a man down, not the best thing. And when we've seen Soul's Heart win a lot of their gun duels, you want to try and take a 2v1 maybe to make your odds better. But despite that, it still worked. Scoreline is now 6-5. Soul's Heart not being able to take that match point and might be getting a little bit scared.
And once again, I mean,
Attackers need
I
to
just have to
locate
point it
and
out, this time around, Soul's Heart, their gunplay is not able to carry them through to the round victory. And despite playing their roam clear well, it still took them way too long, because, like I said, there's nobody contesting top floor. You were completely clearing out top floor, and yeah, sure, like, if you don't clear it, you don't know that it's clear afterward, which might come back to haunt you if there's an Oryx running around up there. But N8M isn't doing that. They go for shallow. They went for a shallow roam here. It wasn't read properly by Soul's Heart, and they waste their own time doing absolutely nothing, while N8M can just sit around and just, you know,
10 seconds
twiddle
left
with their
before
thumbs
insertion.
and just wait for anything to happen. Something did happen, and
5
N8M
seconds
still
left
got
before
caught out
insertion.
despite having all of this time to prepare. But it wasn't enough, and it wasn't fast enough. And so Soul's Heart are still not able to convert even a 5v3 victory, and that doesn't bode well for this upcoming round, as N8M have started a fight back, and they're one round away from putting us into OT.
And Soul's Heart, I've noticed that they're not big fans of kind of running any at J7. However, gonna find a very early pick into Yaula. Soul's Heart gonna put them in a good position. I don't even know what happened. Maybe that was an over aggression from Jula, and he's gonna get punished for it. But like I was saying, Soul's Heart doesn't seem to like droning anyone in. They kind of just they drone a little bit, and then they re-clear what they have thrown, and they just take too much time clearing twice. And Pandora in a little bit of a sticky situation here. He's not going to be able to rotate all of this. They've got him on their sides. Well, as I say that, he is going to get through. They're going to fall back. But still,
He's just taunting them now.
yeah.
Just the cross is coming back and forth. There is the potential for an Ashe to maybe go down below and try to clear him out in this position, as Pandora has pulled back all the way already, just making a rotation inside of the site a bit late. As Jens once again on these Maverick angles trying to help out, you know, Kevin, who's just opening up these holes. Jens will hold it for him. If anybody swings this, they should be dead to rights, as Jens is holding an advantageous angle. It's very difficult to try and swing that. You can win that fight. I wouldn't advise you to take it when you're on the defense unless you have to. And Pillas, he's gonna just continue increasing the advantage for Soul's Heart as another player gets taken down. And so now they can start working on this main breach, and with a minute and 20 left, that is a solid amount of time to try and deal with this. Cutter trying to infect the main wall. Able to get two of these Selmas. There won't be a rotate, but there is still holes, and they can be challenged by both teams.
Interesting to see. The rotates in Armory are coming out, and the angles as well.
Ooh.
BML gonna be able to find a nice kill on the dabs. And Armory, they're prepping it, they're making the holes and everything, but then they're just leaving it alone. No one's really controlling it. And if you give Soul's Heart the chance to take that with everything you've prepped, you kind of lose the whole point, and it makes it really difficult to defense, as they can take this wall in Trophy and Attic. And as we see, they did get punished for that, as Pillis did punish them.
The attackers
So you're gonna go into side, but Zombie gonna be able to find Delano's head. 3v3, 35 seconds, not a lot of time, but they are on side.
No.
Ooh,
What do they know about Kato? They have no idea. No, Kato's sitting in a corner, and once again they are rewarded. N8M for sitting just in a weird place. Kato with a double, able to clear up the players that were inside of Attic, and that is complete Attic control once again conceded, as Kevin is the last player alive. He's outside on the main window. He does have some smokes to work with on the Maverick of all operators, and Sumpy cuts him down from down below. And N8M are sending us to overtime. This one is not over just yet.
I have nothing to say about that. I have
This
no
is
clue
revenge
how-
for the Delano play.
I have
This
no
is
clue
just-
how N8M is doing this.
It is an exact mirror of what Delano did to them inside of
Yeah.
dining. And I mean, fair enough, but yeah, sure, we have a mirror match on our hands, and you can tell by the scoreline, it is 6-6. We've had 2 4-2 halves for the defense, and if we go judging by that scoreline, that certainly should favor Soul's Heart going into the OT as they
Attackers
start
need to locate
on
and
defense.
defuse as many bombs as they can.
Maybe N8M going with the Lion Ash this time. They've been thinking about it the whole game. I've been seeing them pick it up, but then they changed the Lion for Nomad most of the time. Although it looks like this time they're gonna stick with it, which I'd like to see. You know, I mean, it's kind of, they're not gonna do what I want them to do, but it would be funny if they do anyway. Soul's Heart as well. Same defense that they've been doing kind of the whole time. I think these teams have decided that since it's so even, they're going to try and play the same things that they've been doing, as it's been really close all of the time. And now doing something completely different could work very well, but at the same time it's a really big risk and a gamble where it could go completely wrong. No warden in play, however. So these smokes and flashes could prove to be useful if we burn out the Wamais.
Oh yeah, and on the topic of you know, trying new things and maybe adapting, we've seen it in the map veto already. We've seen it in how these two teams have played up until this OT. At this point, I can't really be expecting them to start switching things up, because they seem to just stubbornly not want to play any form of variation of Siege other than the most basic fundamental, like, T4 comp. It is quite sad that they're not willing to try anything, but at the same time, at least now in overtime, I get why they wouldn't want to try and change their ways currently, because now isn't the best time, as Kato is able to find the opening pick onto Billis. And so that bodes well for N8M's attack. They're able to clear one out early. Kevin does get droned out as well. That drone's still alive, forces Kevin back. Will rotate into the basement, keep himself alive, still be a nuisance for later on. But that does allow N8M a bit of space inside of tower to just take some control. That is some well-needed control if they want to attack this top floor here.
Yeah, this player knows that Kevin is here. He's heard him. DML not going to be able to looking to engage right now. He knows that he might not win this gunfight. And unfortunately, he's pushed a little bit late, but he knows that Lesion is here as well. DML, he knows where at least two players are going to be playing. We're seeing an engagement really early as well. J7.
So if VML picks the right timing, you might be able to go for a pick onto this players. No, there we go. Jens already pushing himself out, going back into Kid's room, and instead concedes control over Trophy, concedes control basically over Pit as well, as Kato's also on the rappel. He might have an opportunity to cut down Jens as well. And with a minute left, N8M, they're approaching from all sides. They're really clamping Soul's Heart in. Oh, but Jens, guns are hot. He's able to get that first pick. Kato just getting reversed on that rappel. Not allowed to get away with that. We're back in even playing field with 45 seconds. As this is going to start going awry for N8M as they try to push themselves into Attic, but they get just completely shut down as it's only down to Pandora, and he gets cut down by Jens as well. Soul's Heart in overtime, able to take the first defense, put themselves once again onto another match point opportunity. And, I mean, what a round from Jens. Just individual performance, able to take two gunfights there, and then close it out with the pistol as well. Really, really well played, but just N8M able to find the opening pick, not able to convert it.
Yeah, Jens being able to find all those kills puts them in a really good position. N8M had kind of all of the odds of winning there. They had the man advantage. The execution was going to be really good. They were coming from all angles. They still had a lot of util left. But Soul's Heart, they won their gun duel. Soul's Heart has the slight advantage in those gun duels. And, you know, it's not going to be quite enough for N8M. And that puts Soul's Heart into overtime match point. If they win this one, could go their way, but they are going to be going into the attack, and Soul's Heart didn't have a good time on attack, as we saw. N8M won almost, I think N8M won all of their defense rounds, except maybe one, if I'm wrong, but either way.
It was 4-2-4-2, otherwise we wouldn't be in OT.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah. My math is not mathing right now.
Never do math on stream, remember. Math on stream is always dangerous. You're going to get it wrong.
Yeah. That's why I have you as my co-caster. You know, I'll just say stupid stuff, and then you'll correct me, and then, you know, people learn more.
I think that's a mutual thing. I also tend to make some mistakes here and there. I'm glad if somebody corrects me, because I think for the sake of the viewers, I don't want to be spouting something that is completely wrong.
or we just gaslight the viewers. You know?
Yes, gaslight the audience. Surely we are right. Anyway, N8M winning 7-0, as my predictions are correct. Moving into map 2.
Yeah, audience. The casters are always right. Never correct us. You're always wrong every single time. We have never made a mistake in our entire lives.
This is, by the way, we have so much time to talk about dumb things because this is a Souls Hard classic attack. Once
Yep.
again, this is a really, really slow roam clear, and there's not much happening. At the moment, N8M is waiting for anything to transpire. They're just like sitting impatiently, just hoping for anything. And Souls Hard is very slowly approaching, very slowly pushing back some of these N8M players, and N8M is not giving them a single gunfight, which, for now, I feel like is the right decision. The problem comes down to N8M folding in the execute. They do so well, and they waste all of Souls Hard's time, that's difficult to say, without them being able to achieve much other than like a bit of map control, which isn't essential to the execute, as Yola on that roam with that prep barricade, able to get a beautiful one-tap onto Kevin, who is outside droning in a weird position. There is a flank watcher, Jens, able to catch that rotation. Really, really important to get that picked back onto Yula. But still, the Twitch going down while she was on cams is quite important because that does allow the shock drone to stay offline for the remainder of this match. It will be Souls Hard's last attack, regardless of the outcome. So with a minute left, 4v4, N8M in a decent position to just try and hold on to this. They just have to make sure they have all their angles covered, and there isn't much execute utility to try and do anything with this. Pillar still has 2 of these Ash Chargers, and he might be able to use that on the mirror windows as he is able to find Sampi. Bit of a swing coming out from Sampi. Does get punished for it. 40 seconds. Pillis now might be able to get some sort of blue control using one of those Ash Chargers, most likely to clear out a Fender gadget. Pushing himself in. He can get elbow control here. Soulsheart might be able to just penetrate deep into the site. Might be able to find a proper angle as Delano gets another kill into Pandora. And this might be the round that Soulsheart need to bring this match over the line to get themselves into map 2. And here comes the swing. VML giving his position away. He's able to get that headshot. First headshot connected onto Adapt. A white swing coming out. Kato able to find one. He's not able to find the second as Jens is able to go for both of them. And Soulsheart off of finally their second chance at a match point opportunity in overtime. Able to convert the 8-6. A hard-fought victory, but a victory for Soulsheart nonetheless.
Yeah, that's going to be really unfortunate. N8M actually had that almost. It was really close. It all came down to the last 2. And that little gunfight there. And that Jula shot there was great. If he didn't get traded almost immediately, it would have been a beautiful play. Unfortunately, got traded. But still, well played to both teams. And that's going to bring us into our second map very, very soon. And it's going to be... I think this is going to go into the third map. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, certainly this map was closer than the predictions would have had us, told, because this was heavily in favor of Soulsheart, and yet it came down to the wire with an 8-6 overtime. Still a victory for them. I'm currently trailing on the predictions. I thought N8M was going to be able to close this out, but I haven't said if it was 2-1 or 2-0, so I could still be right. We'll have to wait and see. The next match that will be coming up is Clubhouse. We will be throwing to a quick break for us to take a breather, for the players to take a quick breather, and then as soon as we get into Clubhouse, we'll be right back. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
No, it's not a Benz, it's a starship. But to leave a dent in the galaxy. Echo through the hills and the valleys. I'll forever walk with heat. Style is so current till it's shocking. Been around the end so you can't escape. No, you're not to guess who the dawn is. Have to make a mark in deepest darkest. Hold up. Me don't tell them I know all I'm talk.
Me don't tell them I no long talk. Yeah. So we do it, you know. Action over words, you understand? Place and lift up like Barkley when the young gargan walking. Nah, miss when me aim for the target. Problems, no, you don't want it. Make money, make moves, left carnage. Without a warning, still out performing. Action, me I deal with charging. Me don't tell them I no long talking. Style is so current till it's shocking. Been around the end so you can't diss me. No, you're not for guess who the Don is. Have to make a marking deep, cause talk is. Me don't tell them I no long talking. Me don't tell them I no long talking. Me don't tell them I no long talking. Hold up. Me don't tell them I no long talk, 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 talk. Hold up. Talk, 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 talk. Me don't tell them I no long talk. It's a starship. I keep coming back like Jason. I can make him scream like Craven. Maybe I'ma snap like Batman. Leather face with us all, don't face him. Blade to the neck, no shaving. Pandora's box, damnation. The police can't save him. They always trip when you chase them. They always trip when you trip when you trip. They always trip when you chase them. They always trip when you trip when you trip. They always trip when you chase them. They always trip when you trip when you trip. They always trip when you chase them. They always trip when you trip when you chase them. Go, go.
All right, there we go. The quick break is over. We are back in the EON League playoffs in the upper bracket final between Soulsheart and N8M. A very, very hard contested Oregon lies behind us now as Soul's Heart was able to close it out 8-6. And now we are moving straight into Clubhouse with another Dokkaebi ban coming in, an operator that is not getting a lot of love lately, because she's just that good at roam clearing. But other than that, I am back on the cast. It is me, Reap, and I am joined by Don Pingus.
Hello, hello. Multi-ban, anyone? Clubhouse, I've been seeing a lot of multi-bans. People are
could
really
feel it.
scared of them.
No,
Hibana.
there's the Hibana. We did see it in the initial, I think, somewhat troll pick when we were rehosting right at the start of Oregon. This time around, I think a legit ban. And you know what? For Clubhouse, I can see it more than Oregon.
Yeah, but still, way better bans out there, I have to say. But
Yeah, I feel like, you did touch on the Monty ban. I feel like just like basically any other hard breacher, like taking out a Thermite here would be quite interesting. Or for instance, the Maverick, which does empower a bunch of other tricking operators, or even a Thatcher. But instead, once again, we have very default bans. There's one ban different from the previous map, and that is the Hibana. Everything else is the same.
yeah, the Hibana was also banned earlier, but then they swapped it around.
Technically, yes.
So
technically, these are the same bans. Incredible. We are playing the most standard siege you could imagine. Who is excited for Clubhouse Oregon with a Dokkaebi Akaid Asami ban? There's just very unique, guys. Very great approach. Once again, Mira's in play. That is also a ban that you could pick out on the defense. Mira, something that you're going to see a lot on Clubhouse, especially for, the basement wall over in Church. It's really good. You can bring it over on Gym. You can bring it on the main breach if you want on CCTV. You can also bring it for top red, holding into cash. There's a lot of places you can put some really good Mira windows on this map. And it really changes the way that you play it. So trying to deal with those, we can already see VML, he's bringing out the Ash. There is Kato on the Ace to maybe breach the Church wall, depending on how they want to approach this. And now that the Ying isn't banned, we immediately see it picked up by Pandora, just re-picking into that.
Yeah. I wanted to say that it wasn't going to be completely fully standard Clubhouse because we had a Deimos. And as I formed that thought, we swapped to Grim.
We're good at cursing today without even saying it out loud. The caster curse is unreal today.
Pandora, however, with the Ying, could make a pretty good play. There's no really anything for this Candelas. We have the Wamais, but you can still activate them. The Wamais isn't going to stop too much, and there's no Warden either. So we might be seeing a little bit more an aggressive push from N8M, as you're going to get into an engage here. With this roamer, and it is N8M Esports on the attack, so might not be seeing that much of a slow approach that Soul's Heart has, as Yulu's gonna go very, very confidently inside there. I don't know if he pre-droned that or not, but he looked very confident dropping into that. Yeah, just a little bit of a slow roam clear. Gonna try and get the feel of how they're gonna be playing these maps. I don't know if these teams have played against each other yet, at least in this tournament. So maybe that's why they decided to go with really standard siege.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get more standard than that. Once again, I mean, this time it's N8M, but I do have to say we're back to this very slow roam clearing, just taking their time, making sure the top floor is clear, making sure they're not losing any players. Fair enough, that is fundamental siege. If you can clear out the map and you can make sure you're not losing anyone in this approach, you can try to get an execute together, and you can think about how you want to execute. It allows you for more time to go for rotates, for coordinating, for thinking about it. Say that Stampy does get injured, however. Bit of aggression coming out from Soul's Heart, immediately getting picked up though. I think that might have been through a vert angle, so no real harm done as Stampy is taken to low HP, but other than that, he's still around as Villa now gets the real opening pick against Kevin. So with a minute left, N8M, slight advantage, might be able to go for an execute as soon as they can clear out Phyllis here.
With Kevin down, that is one less gun. But it is Elysian. Ultimately, not the best scenario, but not the worst one as well. You could have lost someone like your Mira or someone a little bit more essential. Time, very low. 28 seconds left on the clock. Execution is going to have to happen soon, as we're going to be seeing the Candelas come out, but unfortunately going to get a little bit of a pre-fire through the wall, and it's not going to go out. But here they come. Execute going to happen very, very soon. 40 seconds left. He's going to drop to a head, but BML is going to find Delano. Dance is going to find Jula, making a 3v4. But Phillies going to find Pandora through the drop. Pandora just finds J7. Pandora is inside as the diffuser is going down, but he's going to get taken down from room by Adabs. Phillies, last one alive, and defenders
no.
run out of time to get that kill. And wow.
What a mess of a round. Once again, we're off to this. These very late executes coming in, just scrapping back and forth. And Soulsheart able to convert that round essentially in a 1v1 while the plant is coming down. Just able to deny the planter as there's no time left on the board. They need to stick this plant for the side of N8M. And just as the plant's about to come down, able to get the guy off of it. And that, of course, immediately converts the round into a win, as the last remaining player alive, he might still have a gun, but if he doesn't have any time, that doesn't really matter. So Soulsheart just, by the skin of their teeth, able to convert the first round. Able to hand N8M a loss here to put themselves into the lead momentarily. But as we've seen between these two teams, no lead lasts for very long, as we've seen them go back and forth, back and forth. And I expect no less on this map, unless Soulsheart can really start ramping up right now.
Bulletproof camera just gonna go down, but back up again. So I think we're gonna be seeing two players with the bulletproof cameras in pocket. And well, this time Delano's gonna place them. But it's just really funny how most of the time they forget to place them.
To locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, especially now that we're looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm very worried of them not using their util, because I mean, you have it. Like, if you're gonna bring the operator, you should use all of the utility. And if you're not, why did you bring the operator? You should be bringing something better then. Opening fight, just Kevin taking a lot of damage, just taking the fight to two different people as he gets shot in the feet. Now, you know, just trying to make a rotation. Really gets caught out by that. Doesn't quite, as he does take down the jammer that should allow Pandora to open up this wall uncontested. It is PC control gained for the most part, as now the already Kevin pulling back over into construction, giving up that cache control. So Pandora is going to flash onto red. EML should be able to push that. He is flashed a little, but Pandora will be able to push off of it. Now, full control of top red gained. That is an angle into con. And with that, N8M, they gain a bit of control. But already a minute off the clock, so they will have to try and keep pace. That con wall is still closed. I believe Jacuzzi might still be closed as well. I'm not sure about it. But at the moment, just very slow going. Stumpy, there we go. The Stumpy lurk, it works out. A double kill from down below. Beautiful. The Buck, once again. Just Stumpy, very notorious. Going in down below, going in alone. Trying to find some kills. And this time around, he is successful. He's able to find Kevin, able to find Pillis. Milano's down on low HP as well already. So with a minute and a half left, N8M now in a good position to just slow it down, keep pace, go for a rotate, just get all the control that they need, and see if they can isolate another player, and from there just, swamp the site with enough players to clear everyone out. Flash is coming in. Delano just getting flashed out, but nothing being converted off of that, and Adapt's able to find one. Is that a frost mat? I think that might be a player in a frost mat, and some team damage. My goodness, N8M walking all over themselves at the moment. As I believe Delano did get taken down by that shot from Kato. Really well played, able to take Delano down. Player now, as Jens able to find a trade back. Two players now on the floor, and essentially a 2v2, a 1v2. As it's only Adapts up. They know that Delano is down. They might be able to recover Eula. But 40 seconds left. Just all up to Adapts now.
Adapts does still have his C4, and he does have this angle on the door. He might be able to find... I think he might be able to clutch it up if he plays this well. Definitely going to be able to find at least one, and the C4 still in play can be very, very big. If he doesn't get cleared out, C4 going to come out, and unfortunately not going to connect. Katu going to find that kill on Delano that has been knocked for a while.
One time.
Finally put him out of his misery. If he can find the diffuser, but unfortunately Cat was going to be preemptively holding that angle, and Adapts is going to go down. N8M going to take the first attack round on Club.
All right, N8M, I was a little worried for them. In the 3v1, they did have massive advantage. They did use their drones to make sure they wouldn't get caught out by a player unexpectedly. But at the same time, I then started getting worried that they were going to take too much of their time once again and would allow for an opportunity for, the last remaining player to just fight his way back into it. But nothing to be as Adapts does get killed on top of red, and instead N8M, once again, the trade back and forth happens. Like I said, no lead lasts very long in this matchup so far, and we might be looking at a slugger of a match. This might be another back and forth, and we could potentially, even on this clubhouse, look at another overtime.
I really hope that my guess of 3 overtimes does not come true in these 3 maps. I am that okay, hopefully that doesn't happen, but Soulsheart gonna go back into that bedroom and gym defense. Like you mentioned,
5 seconds left.
these teams just keep going back and back to the sites that they've already kind of lost, and we haven't seen that work out particularly well a lot of the time. Soulsheart is going to go an extension into catch of CCTV, but they lost that very, very easily earlier, and it put them in a kind of at a disadvantage, losing that control so early into the round.
Oh, Pillis. Oh, do they? I don't think they do. He's not rewarded with kill. Not allowed anything here, but there we go. Now he gets one. That C4 is okay, a little too excited there on that throw, but beautiful. Picks it up, just puts it over the wall. That's what the holes in the wall were there for. Able to connect it right through the window onto that rafted balcony, and able to take down Yula, who certainly couldn't do much about it. Phyllis now, he might be low HP, but he did get 2 kills. He is still alive. That is still another gun in play for the side of Soulsheart. Very good start for them. N8M immediately locked out. Gonna have some difficulty here as Sampi, I think, he's not sure what he wants to do. He hasn't decided whether he wants to go up or below just yet.
Hillis did not like that Soulsheart lost CCTV control so early, and it's going to take matters into his own hands. I think a beautiful 2 keys there. Beautifully played. Almost missed the opportunity, but he managed to get that nice kill with the SMG, and the C4 kill was just mwah, chef's kiss. He's going to be holding this angle on the
that Aruni gate is placed the wrong way around.
It is.
Can't reactivate that. There's a flashbang coming out. Katu almost whiffing those shots, but able to get the full flash mute now. As Kevin's able to find another one with the Sampi though in the meantime. So Kato now does have some control, but he's the last one alive for his team as he tries to push himself out of Logi, but there's so many players to try and contend with. There's a default camp still up that might be giving information onto him. There's a player on top red, or top lane rather, that's able to connect onto him. He's able to find 1, able to find 2. Kato now effectively a triple kill if he can finish off this one player. And there is still a mirror window that he can play with. He knows about this player who's just running away from him. Kevin taking some damage. Not quite going down, though. And so that player behind Mattress still able to play it in a position. Kato still probably just being given away by information. And even with taking out that default, there is still that player on top main that can potentially feed some info. There's a bulletproof as well, and Delano swings off of it. Beautiful. Soulsheart able to convert it. A bit scary there for a few seconds that Kato might be able to do something, but with those 80 bullets, but ultimately not to be. Soulsheart go straight back into the lead off of this beautiful play from Pillis. And I mean, nice effort from Kato, but you really need your team around you to be doing a little more than that.
Yeah, Kato very closely almost had that round. If he managed to find that kill in construction, which unfortunately he didn't, but it still wasn't much of a threat despite him not being able to kill it. The only thing that managed to get Soulsheart that win was the Jaeger playing at Mattress. If he was in any other position, I think Kato might have actually had that round there in his pocket. Very scary, but very well played as well. I have to say, hit some really nice shots. And Soulsheart just kept pushing him one by one. They got scared. They definitely got really scared after he started hitting those shots. But they're going to win that round, and we're going to be seeing another another basement church, which they won. I think it was a pretty comfortable win earlier.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, comfortable is it was anything but comfortable. Soulsheart did win the basement, but if you remember, it came down to a 1v2 that was won on time essentially. So a very messy late round execute, which ultimately cost N8M the round. certainly was in the hands of N8M. They just didn't manage to, squeeze tight enough around that trophy. Instead, round goes to Soulsheart. And now we go back to the basement. Soulsheart opting to go for a very similar thing this time around. There is a Warden in play. We have seen quite a bit of the Ying now. N8M really liking this pick now that it's not been banned out on this map. And I think I believe that is your dog, who seems to agree with me in the background. Fedora just taking map control. And N8M just once again going for a bit of a slow roam clear. Very fundamental siege.
Yeah, I do apologize about the dog. He has seen another dog and he has decided to bark once again. And he's a big dog, so it barks real loud.
Real, recognize real.
C4 is going to be prep. Might be able to find something. Soulsheart, they definitely don't like this Jing. They've gotten tired of it. They decided to go with the Warden, like you mentioned. A lot of util from Soulsheart that could be used, but C4's just going to be used pretty early into the round. I'm not going to be able to find anything. And might have to hurry it up a little bit. Sampy gonna go into the same exact angle as he did earlier, and did get punished for it earlier, and it might happen once again. Lots of chaos going around. I'm hearing a lot of things going out. Execution will happen very, very soon. N8M might be going faster than they've been going earlier. Camille Yang's gonna come out. Ooh, some trades of damage gonna come. Jula, however, going to get the short end of the stick and take the most damage, but still in play in the game. 1 minute left. More Camille Yangs are going to be going out. We're just flashing them to flash them because we're not playing all of it, but that can still be very, very annoying.
I'm very curious to see if that hatch has been open, and yes, it has been, as Delano's able to retake. He gets deep armory control, just able to take that swing onto Pandora. That is the Ying off the board for the execute. That is huge for the side of Soulsheart to try and defend this. Yes, they do have a Warden to try and deal with it, but if the Ying's dead, you don't need to worry about putting on your goggles at all. You can just worry about taking gunfights. And Jens certainly must be comfortable on those weapons, because I mean the MPX is nice for getting headshots. The SMG-12 is really, really good on close range at just cutting down everybody. And Pillis on a beautiful reversal against VML, able to find that pick, as Yula able to find one back onto Pillis. Delano finds one onto Yula. Katu takes one down. Jens able to get another, and we're just losing players left, right, and center as Soulsheart, this time a lot more comfortably, I would say, able to close out this defense on the basement, and they're starting to run away with it.
Still came down to like a little bit of essentially 1v1. Better win for Soulsheart than earlier, but still not a win that I'd like to say they definitely deserved that, or it was a comfortable win. But despite that, we keep seeing the same things play over and over again. We saw it last match. We're seeing it again. The attacking is just really slow. We're taking too long to clear anything. And by the time we decide to execute, there's 30 seconds left, and it all comes down to who can shoot the best. Which, ideally, you know, it's not the worst thing ever, but it also makes it kind of, what do we do the whole time of the rest of the round? And it just becomes really chaotic, and it can go either way. Whoever can get the best gunfights just takes the round. Soulsheart going to go into their first cash CCTV. I'm interested to see what they're going to be doing this time around. We're going to be seeing kind of standard thing. Frost, you don't usually see a Frost, but Soulsheart does seem to like their Frost. I did get someone on the Frost map earlier. Interestingly enough, they're all going to be placed on the same side of the map, nothing on construction. Usually you'd see a little construction Frost mat, and then you can hold it from there. But Soulsheart doesn't want to lose Garage or Raptor Switch. They know that it's weak for them, as when they were doing Gym and CCTV, they kept losing that Raptors and Gym really, really fast.
Sumpy lurk.
Sumpy lurk.
Everybody Sumpy lurk in chat. This is a classic. This is one of the most notorious Sumpy lurk spots. It is just a solo dirt push. Sumpy is all alone down here. He's trying to see if he can find a pick. He is just trying to use some sound info. He does get some info relayed from his teammates, I would assume, as well, off of drones here and there. But for the most part, he's just going to go slow. He's going to try an opportunity spot. If he finds someone, great. If he doesn't, he just moves around, goes somewhere else, and starts helping his teammates later on in the round. As I say that, Sampi, there we go. There it is. That is the Sampi lurk. He puts himself up that blue staircase, able to find the opening pick, and now he rotates. Frostmat, Frostmat! Oh, Pandora, no! You have to know that that's there. Number one, you saw it. Number two, there's a frost in play, and it's rafters. This is one of the most common Frostmat spots. You have to check that. Oh no.
I think this has gone very fast, very downhill for N8M. They had a pretty good chance, and it's just gone down, multi-falling for that Frostmat. I don't know. You know, they had so much potential. N8M opened this breach almost immediately, yet they haven't had any play out of it, which most of the time, this is the most important breach that people want to stop you from getting because it's so strong, and it hasn't helped N8M at all. Jula just going to push through everything despite nothing. Yeah, obviously, he's going to get punished for it. This man pushed through 6 smokes, 3 blinds.
VML, no. What was that round from N8M? Oh, I can't believe this. Oh my goodness. That is Pandora stepping into a Frostmat once again. I saw the Frostmat and I watched him walk into it like a car crash in slow motion. Like, you can't look away, but it's so grotesque. As we're now into a quick tactical timeout, I believe, for the side of N8M, well needed.
After that round, definitely.
Yeah. At the same time, Yula, just like, I like the smoke play that they did to just try and cause confusion and get into the side quickly. That worked beautifully. The problem is that Yula put down a one-way smoke that you can only look through when you're crouching, and he swings standing up into it. I don't really understand the plan there. And then, of course, VML getting cut down trying to get up the ladder inside of Oil Pit is... like, you have nobody else covering you. There's no way you're going to be able to get up that ladder to try and take a fight afterward. Either you challenge from down below, or you rotate around and go somewhere else. You're not going to get up that ladder. But I commend him for trying. However, that does put Soul's Heart into a 4-1 lead, and N8M taking a quick timeout, trying to see if they can maybe convert this last one before the half switch, because if they can get a 2-4 split, they can still recover. Clubhouse, just like Oregon, fairly defender-sided map. We've seen it between these two teams. We're expecting 4-2 splits. If N8M can get one more, we're right back on target, and we are potentially looking at OT again.
Zula, very, very great man. One before, he just pushes into sight through smokes canisters, fender blind, his own fire. Very, very great play, and unfortunately, we're gonna get the little gun glitch, which makes it a little bit difficult to hear anything whatsoever. I can't even hear my own odds.
Oh, it's a beautiful ambience.
Indie games. Ubisoft, my favorite indie game dev.
Small little indie game dev company.
Oh, there we go.
Alright, we're over on spectating VML. I don't know if it might just be for the defenders or if it's just that we're spectating. Yeah, I think it's just because on VML we were far enough away from it. I don't know where it's originating from. I feel like the sound is coming from somewhere around, like, maybe gym area or potentially even bar. Interesting to... It's going to be a nice mini game for us to try and locate this in the meantime, as Sampi once again going for kitchen. Another classic Sampi lurk, getting himself in down below in kitchen. Just gonna get some drone info onto the players inside of potentially Logi. If he can play Vert on that, he might be able to go for a pick. And we see a blitz. It's your favorite, Don. Kato just AFK at the moment, just waiting for an opportunity.
It's gonna be my favorite best play. It's gonna be either awful or the best play. So far, it's been pretty bad plays, but I'm hoping that we're gonna get a really good boundary play.
Well, I mean, if we had so many awfuls in a row, surely now we get a good.
Dampy gonna take some damage. However, his vertical play is getting outplayed a little bit, and the land are gonna be able to find a nice kill against Dampy. Soul's Heart might be taking this round if they don't absolutely troll it.
Oh, it feels so wonderful to not hear that. What Pandora is... Alright, that Ash charge did not work to clear out that bandit. I don't think that reaches. Even if you put it right, I don't think that was VML messing up. I think that just doesn't work. If you put the bandit wire on the right side of that like left wall where the drone hole is, you shouldn't be able to go for it. But like, yeah, you have highway control. Why do you make it so difficult when it could be so easy? Yeah, sure, Kevin can try and swing you over there, but now the wall is open, and wow, what a pick from Pillis, and he's able to get a second as well. Now he runs himself into a blitz. He does get taken down. A second push from the blitz, as Kato able to just run straight on through, adapts, able to get him with that melee. Kato now on low HP, same with Eula. But we are in a 2v2. Kevin and Delano, they are kind of split apart. They are just, at the moment, trying to reconvene as another nade comes out, and Kevin now able to connect onto the players. Now it's only down to Kato, and there we go, he gets taken down as well. And the timeout won't bring any benefits for N8M, as it's another round for the side of Soul's Heart, and they go up 5-1. What a pick from Pillis there. I mean, nice attempt from Kato with that blitz push. I feel like that was a decent timing for the blitz. Like, maybe a second earlier could have saved one of his teammates, but for the most part, nice attempt, but wasn't to be.
Yeah, N8M, they almost had a really good run there, a really good attack, and they might have been able to make it 4-2. But Pillis just goes into the breach, manages to get 2 somehow. And
protect your bombs from being
maybe if that blitz made his move a little bit earlier, he might have been able to save those 2 teammates. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. And we're going to be going into the second half with a 5-1 score. I'm a little bit doubtful for N8M here. It's going to be really, really difficult to make this comeback. They have to win a lot of rounds in a row. They can't let Soul's Heart win even 1 round, or they're going into match point. Which,
yeah, N8M have managed 1 fight back. Essentially a 5-2 is what they were able to fight back into OT. But even in OT, they weren't able to close it out. Soul's Heart ultimately still managed to take Oregon. And so we're now looking at a 5-1 split for Soul's Heart. They're 2 rounds away from not just winning this map, but winning this series. And if N8M want to do a comeback here, if they want to fight back into this, then after they win Clubhouse, potentially, they would have to go to Bank. And so this is far from over for N8M. They have a long way to go if they want to keep themselves alive here in the upper bracket, if they want to go to the grand finals on Sunday. If not, they drop to the lower bracket. They will have to go up against Tani, and Tani's a formidable opponent. I wouldn't mind skipping straight past them to just go into the grand finals and just hope that you get whatever opponent you desire there, but at the moment it's not looking likely for N8M, as Jens is inside of the side. Wow. Sampi's able to find a trade, as Sampi's able to find a double kill for himself. VML able to find one off site as well. Sampi with a 3rd, and he's just holding this hatch beautifully. Soul's Heart thought they had a read into just executing on site, but Sampi says no. Sampi just playing on that open hatch, able to reverse the angle. And so despite taking full map control, or side control rather, it doesn't work out for Soul's Heart. Really, really well played for N8M, essentially playing an anti-rush, and we are straight back into this. N8M starting the comeback early.
I am so confused as to what happened that round. I got distracted for a second, and next thing I know, it looks like Soul's Heart is the one defending and N8M is the one attacking. Why?
Yeah, strange.
Sampi, why was he in kitchen holding the hatch? What happened? Like, who opened? Was he just playing there the whole time, and then they just kind of ignored kitchen, the attacking side? I don't know what happened there. But well played to N8M. They did that. That was probably the fastest round we've seen this entire series, right?
I don't know how intentional it was, but it was certainly the perfect counter to a side rush strat by N8M. They countered that like absolutely beautifully. The question is just how did this come about? But hey, I won't question it. If Sampi is getting a triple kill, I won't be asking any further questions. We just move on to the next round. And once again, we're at this 5-2 split. Last time we saw this, N8M was able to at least battle into OT, so this game is certainly far from over. We can't be counting N8M out too early. Soul's Heart, of course, they're playing with a bit less pressure. They're not playing for their, spot in the grand finals just yet. They're up a map. They can comfortably lose this and still win out on Bank. But of course, Soul's Heart, they don't want to give away their map pool to anyone that might be watching, and more importantly, I think they don't want to wear themselves out. They don't want to bother having to go to a 3rd map. I think that is the main motivation at the moment. So Soul's Heart just need to make sure they keep their heads in this, they keep locked in, and they don't get discouraged by N8M maybe winning 1 or 2 rounds here or there. That is going to be the main concern for them. So Soul's Heart just moving into the attack. They are bringing a Flores. I do like to see that utility being brought because on Clubhouse there's a lot to do with that.
I also like that we have 4 proximity alarms. Surely no one's gonna get past us. We're gonna know all the info. Flores drones, they're pretty funny. Flores drone kills, one of my all-time favorites. You don't get to see them that often. But like you mentioned, in Clubhouse, Flores is pretty essential. There's a lot of util that is used, a lot of shields going down, a lot of mirrors, a lot of Asamis. You know, Asami might be banned right now, but there's always a lot of util that's really annoying to deal with. And Ashe is just not good enough for it. She doesn't have enough charges for enough breach charges for it. Hopefully we don't see that slow of an attack. Ooh, Sampi, he's
He gets
thinking
the
about
right
it.
timing. He might be able to get a player over on that highway angle. He just has to make sure he doesn't get caught out doing this. This is a fairly popular thing to do, to just get prepped on Garage and go for a swing at the right time. Adapt's taking a bit of damage to Pandora. Too far out to do any real damage with that shotgun, but significant enough for Adapts to maybe think twice about swinging that angle, and VML is able to get the opening pick on the Pillis in the meantime. I think from down below, yeah, there we go. So N8M able to continue holding on to their bird control, which is really important for the site. And so now Pandora, he's getting bead. There's a live location ping on him, but at the same time there is a smoke to try and counter that. Does force out some of those smoke babes quite early. But with 50 seconds left, we're moving into the territory where they start becoming really powerful, and he still has 2 of them. Oh, no, he has 1 of them left. He did use 2.
Zombie finally gonna be able to open that garage, but unfortunately not gonna be able to find anyone. Delano, however, gonna push through construction, getting 1, but he's immediately gonna get traded by Jula. And another construction trade coming from Kevin against Jula. It's all trades and trades. 3-3. They know that this player is in garage. They definitely heard him opening that. Pandora alone in this breach. Smoke breach is coming out. BML, he's holding this angle. So many things to know in enough time. And J7 going to find that killing BML. Pandora just going to go through the breach. I don't know. Unfortunately,
wait, what is Sampi doing in the basement? What are you doing in the basement? Don't tell me you dropped the hatch accidentally, Sampi. This is not the time to be doing this. There's a safe spot right there on gold that the diffuser was coming down anyway, so there was no way that Sampi was going to deny it from Vert. As long as they were planting in the right spot, I believe they were. And so now he just tries to push himself up main stairs, gets cut down instead. Soul's Heart able to put themselves up to match point once again quite early. This time they have 4 opportunities as opposed to 3 to try and close this out before N8M start this comeback and put us into overtime once again. Oh me, oh my. Interesting plays. I really like the trade game in the mid round there, but for the most part, N8M just folding there in that late round execute, not having everything covered, not just sticking to their positions properly, and that really comes back to bite them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as
That is
many bombs as they can.
unfortunate, and to be honest, this is just not looking very good for N8M. We did see them with the clutch factor earlier on and be able to make that comeback. It was not enough to win them the first map, but it was a very good comeback, so we know that they have it in them. But Soul's Heart already being at match point 6-2 is going to make things really difficult. N8M is either going to have to play very passively into sight and just pray that Soul's Heart does their classic attack. They're going to waste a lot of time by themselves anyway, even if there's no roaming whatsoever from N8M.
Seconds left before
So that could be a play, or change up the tempo and N8M can go absolutely bonkers, play really aggressively, and just be able to find everyone that's going to be roam clearing very, very slowly. They have those 2 options. Looks like they're kind of going to go for neither of them and go with a more of a standard play of having, you know, like a 3-2.
All right, now moving into this, we've got Adapts immediately trying to go for this wall. I don't think it's going to get denied. You should be able to just get construction open quite early. That is the difference between N8M and Soul's Heart. I think N8M always struggling to get that wall open at all in the first place. Soul's Heart dealing with it very quickly. No denial coming out to try and counteract any of that. As we do have... it's a Sampi lurk. Who else would it be but Sampi inside of Oil Pit on a gym defense? He was in Garage last round, but he's even further down now. And once again, he's probably waiting for an opportunity to try and pick a fight over onto Garage. But last time around, he overstayed his welcome. He allowed a player to just vault in the CC window and push onto his teammates on site. And there was no trade potential because he's just really, really far away. In the meantime, Pillis just going to opt to not break that barricade. Instead, just going to punch it out twice, prone down below it, get himself into kitchen, unwittingly, unbeknownst to the side of N8M. At least that's what Pillis is hoping. I can only assume. But no, Zombie, there he is. That is the basement lurk coming to fruition, and there we go. He's even rewarded with spotting where the player came from. He's allowed to watch the scene of the crime.
Pillis definitely had to get punished for that. He was just going in at it with no information whatsoever, just kind of hoping to go into a gunfight, and it didn't work out for him. But as I say that, J7 going to find a nice double kill. Might be going for the third. Unfortunately, not going to be able to find the dabs. Going to find Pandora in a 4v2. It's all down to VML and Jula. Last two defenders alive. They are unfortunately in a really bad position. Game has slowed down a little bit, but J7 going to be able to find a triple. VML. Kevin finds the last kill, and Soulsheart is going to win this, ladies and gentlemen. Soul Hearts are your winners, and they're going to go into the grand finals.
Well, GG's coming out for the side of both Soulsheart and N8M. I did bet on N8M because I knew that they would be underdogs coming into this. A bit of a quick replay coming in before you get to see our beautiful faces. As Soulsheart able to win the second map very comfortably, 7-2. I don't remember. In case anybody does remember, please remind me. Which way were the map? Yeah, which way were the map picks? Because this certainly felt like Soulsheart's pick. They were a lot more comfortable on this than they were on Oregon. I think Oregon was a lot heavier in terms of the back and forth.
I don't remember the map picks either, but definitely.
I'm just going to assume the second one was Soulsheart. We'll just roll with that.
Yeah,
I'll give
does
N8M
sound
the benefit
possible.
of the doubt that they were doing well in their own map pick.
Yeah.
And even if not, I mean, Oregon was a close affair. Clubhouse was a complete closeout. I don't think it would have gone any differently on Bank. I think Soulsheart is a team that's fairly decent on Bank. I know that N8M is shaky on it at best, so I wouldn't have seen this match really going any other way than Soulsheart after they won the first map. Very unfortunate for N8M, but they do get another opportunity to rematch against Tani down in the lower bracket. If they beat Tani, they get to go straight back into a BO5 against Soulsheart, which should be an interesting rematch. Maybe they can learn from this matchup. Maybe they can look back at this and think, all right, where can we improve on? What can we change going into this? Because Soulsheart were not a perfect team. Far from it. I think both these teams were making somewhat similar mistakes because they have fairly similar playstyles. And the problem there is that they are making similar mistakes, which means they're not noticing each other's mistakes because it's their own. If they would notice their own, they would fix them. And so if they do not notice their own mistakes, they cannot spot them on the enemy. And if they can go back and just like VOD review that, fix that, get that sorted out, I think the team that comes into the grand finals on Sunday better prepared is the one team that is going to win out because there's plenty of opportunities to capitalize on. Let's be real, between the two teams. It's far from a perfect game. There's some decent plays here and there, but there is certainly gaps, and you can absolutely abuse those gaps if they're not being closed on time. But for now, we'll have to wait and see tomorrow for Tani versus N8M. Really looking forward to that. I'm very sure you are as well, as Tani will be in that game. So any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I think that Bank would have actually gone differently than you think, just for the sole reason that Bank is such an open map and so big. And we know that Soul really struggles with that roam clearing. So I think they would have lost a lot of rounds just on time alone.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
But of course, we'll never know. We'll never know until maybe the finals. They might go Bank.
Could happen.
Yeah. Very well played to both teams. Soul is going to go into the grand finals, which will be played on Sunday. N8M still has a chance to redeem themselves tomorrow against Tani Esports, the lower bracket finals, which we will be there for. I think you're also here for tomorrow?
Yes, I will be casting that as well.
All right, so we'll both be
Tani.
here for yeah, we'll both be here for that. So, we might be seeing the bets, but I don't really have anything else to say. Just, the average thank you to the production team. Thank you to the viewers for viewing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey, Literally cannot do it without production, so definitely big shout out to production. That is why we're here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing us on screen. Other than that, I think good match. Decent victor. I think Soulshard definitely the better team today. We'll have to wait and see for tomorrow. So everybody stay tuned for the game between Tani and N8M tomorrow. We'll be back for that, both Don and me. But that's all from us for now. So we'll be signing off and see you guys tomorrow.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.